All of you know, who have followed my videos, all of you know John, and that he's involved in karate and that sort of thing. And you all know that he started, those of you who followed the videos now, all these years. Those of you who did know that he started at the age of 4.5, and he won his first trophy in traditional weapons at the age of 5. Now the best part of karate, I think, yeah, they learn, you know, how to do skills with weapons, and they know how to spar and all this other stuff. But I think the best part of karate, any of your martial arts actually, in particular Taekwondo, because that's the one I'm most familiar with now, they ingrain the instructors and the school and the entire world of that particular martial arts. They ingrain certain ethics into these young people, and that's what's always good about it. The ladies, the guys, you know, you don't see too many dopers, you know, out here on the floor in karate, you know. And the things that are written on the walls of the school where they train, the instructors all the time telling them this, they have 5 major tenets. I want to read them to you. Courtesy. That's on the walls, you know. All the students, they have to be polite, gracious, and considerate towards others, and they have to be well-mannered. That's hammered into them, you know. And they have to have integrity, perseverance, self-control. All of these are so important to any young person growing up. Those who never had any of this kind of training are the ones that are filling our prisons today. You have to have an indomitable spirit and always be aware that victory is what it's all about when you're, you know, competing or trying to do better in life. Victory, come out on top, come out ahead, at least strive to do these things. Don't, you know, many young people, it's very difficult for them to do that. But that's the 5 main tenets. I think there's a 6th one, is the victory, you know. And John had that hammered into him since he was a very small child, both from his dad, who's very strict, and his mother, who's a overly doting, oh my baby mama, you know, only child type of thing. So he got the good cop, bad cop thing with the mom and dad, and all the positive aspects of what it means to become a good citizen in the United States. And then of course he had his papa, you know, who, I never mince words, I just tell it the way it is, you know. This is, you got your dad, you got your mom, here's your papa's way. I'm right there in the center somewhere. I try not to side with either one when it comes to the discipline that was instilled in him. Anyway, as a result of that, at the age of 16, his dad told him, or at the age of John being 16, his dad, our son, told him, look, you're going to need a car. You don't have the money for a car. We will buy you your first car if you become a world champion at the World Champion Tournament in one of the several categories that you'll be eligible to compete in. If you make world champion in one of them, we'll buy you your first car. And he did. He worked very, very hard. He missed it a couple of years, a couple of shots. He didn't get world champion. He missed it, you know. But then the big day came, and he made world champion in extreme weapons. And I put up a YouTube video about all that. You all know what that was all about. And his dad made good on it, you know. Integrity is very important. So he, John and his dad and mom, they all drove down to Texas, and they went to a couple of car lots. The first one where the guy said he had a Dodge Challenger, which is what John wanted. He wanted a Dodge Challenger for his first car. They talked to a guy in Texas. Oh yeah, I got this wonderful car, blah, it's great, it's the same color, oh, you'll love it. He gets down there and it's a wreck. And the salesman's trying to push that thing off on my son, and my son, you know, like, forget it, pal. They went to another place, I think it was called Cleburne County Motors or something down there, and they finally bought the Challenger that our grandson wanted. Later on, you know, there was a prom night, and he put on his old tie. It was either prom or homecoming. I can't remember which. I think it was a prom. He took his girlfriend in his nice new shiny Dodge Challenger, and he had it all shined up, and he'd put his tux on. He looked really cool. He thought he was cool. You know how it is when you're a teenager. You take your girl to the prom, you want your car to be spotless and all this other crap. We all went through that. And then later on, his dad and mom, he does so well at school, his dad and mom, they sprang for some stripes to be put on the car and a spoiler, and here's what that looked like when they got all that done. It wasn't long after he finally got his driver's license. Up until this time he was driving on a permit, or a limited driver's license where you had to have an adult in the car with him. He finally got his driver's license and everything was cool. And here he is now 2 years later, and this is what he's getting ready to graduate from high school. This is what he looks like. He's got a girlfriend, he's got a job, and he'll soon, in the next 6 months I believe it is, he'll test for his 4th degree black belt in Taekwondo. And he's an instructor. He teaches other kids at the school, and he also gives private lessons, that sort of thing. So in addition to all this, let me see my notes here. I want to be able to cover all this. Oh yeah, he's done very well in school. He continues to do very well in school. He carries a 4.3 grade point average all through there. You'd think an only child spoiled by his mama, but she's very strict in some ways. She would look at his phone every night he came home and read every one of his text messages to girls and stuff, you know, that, you know how teenagers are. And if she didn't like some of the things he wrote, she would say, "Don't you do that again. This is not the way to do it. This is not nice. That's rude. That's all this other stuff." And she would counsel him night after night after night. So she took care of the social aspect, where my son took care of the manly, you know, discipline aspect. You know, it was really a good cop, bad cop kind of thing. It really worked out well for him. He is president of the Beta Club in school. He's a member of the National Honor Society. He's a member of the. He was, you know, awarded the membership in the National Spanish-speaking Society, and he also takes. With all this going on, I don't know where the kid gets the time. I really don't. And by the way, he told me the other day he joined an extreme frisbee throwing club. His dad and I get a kick out of that, but he wanted to learn how to, you know, do really weird things with frisbees and stuff. So that's fine. At one time, he was in a hip hop dance group that traveled around and hip hop dancing and competition, stuff like that. He went through gymnastics. That's where he's learned how to flip and do all that stuff that you have watched him do in the karate videos. Yeah, we're really proud of the boy. You know, he's done a lot. He's demonstrated to anyone that wanted to really watch that if you really work hard and you do these sort of things, you come out ahead in many different ways in life. Now, you know, we don't care what he does, except he's got to go to college. After he's out of college, he can ride around the back of a trash truck emptying buckets. It's up to him, you know. We just want him to have a good start in life. All the kids, all the grandkids, we want them to do certain things. Some listened, of course, some didn't. Anyway, he's also taken mixed martial arts training. You know, this is something that he wanted to do. He's paying for it with his own money. Mixed martial arts. I don't know why. He wants to do. He wants to be a cage fighter. Can you believe this? Oh man, you got to be kidding me! I don't want him to be a cage fighter. his mom, she's not too crazy about it. She's kind of, you know, I think she's kind of iffy, but I think that, you know, he knows that she doesn't want him to be a cage fighter. I hate the idea. I keep telling him, well, one wrong punch, and next thing you know, you're drooling out of the side of your mouth. You know, this stuff is serious crap, you know. It can ruin everything you've worked for. And his answer to me was, I make him drool, Papa. You know, typical young teenager kind of answer, you know, overconfident. So anyway, here he spars. He spars and he trains with some professional MMA fighters. And here's one that he recently did. Both the striking, and then the second part is a little bit about grappling. He also trains with a guy in another town. Once in a while, as far as sparring goes, he's also a mixed martial arts professional. And matter of fact, he's even got sponsorship and stuff like that. So here he is at the school where he does his taekwondo, sparring. You know, remember, it's sparring. They're not there to kill each other. He's sparring with a professional MMA fighter. Well, everything was going great for John, you know. I mean, he was zeroed in on what he had to do. He had to graduate from high school. He had to go to college. He had to graduate from college. He was constantly trying to be a better MMA fighter for cage fighting. I mean, he had all these dreams of the, you know, yeah, Conor McGregor's is like big hero. He's got Conor McGregor's pictures on the wall of his room. He's even got a piece of the mat that Conor McGregor fought on. He beat some guy. I always kid him. I call him, I tell John that, I call the guy Lucky Punch McGregor, you know. That always sets him right off, you know. Hey, Lucky Punch, you know, he makes millions of dollars and blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, whatever, you know. Well, everything was going fine for him until about, I guess it was about 30 days ago. And then suddenly, well, there went John's whole world. You know how it is, your first car, your only car. It was his identity. It was him. Guys are like that, you know. I mean, my car, you know, my God. He said after it happened, he said, my whole world just fell apart in one instant. His dad told him, that's right, you know, such is life, you know. That's the way it could happen at any time, in any circumstance. You gotta always be prepared. Well, the police officer came. He was stopped at the stop sign, John was, and a lady came around and cut the corner, as you can see, and took out his driver's side fender and bumper and hood, really banged it up pretty bad. And the police officer comes out and he says, well, I just don't see anybody at fault here. I said, you gotta be kidding. He said, yeah, John was a little bit further past the stop sign than he should have been, and the lady cut the corner way too sharp. But John said, hey, look, you know, it's a very busy highway. I was getting ready to pull out on you. You can't see to the left. So I had to kind of edge out, look, but I was stopped. She still crashed into the cop. Said, oh, I'm sorry, you know. That's the way it is, you know, no fault. Well, guess what happened next? Well, you know, his dad kind of fixed it up the best he could. He used plastic ties and zebra striped duct tape and a bunch of other things. And John said, well, why are you doing that? You know, he said, well, you know, you got to drive the other guy's car, and you know, you were a little bit far past the stop sign, but John, I had to be. I was stopped. I wasn't moving or anything. You know, well, the argument went back and forth, and in the end, you know, the old man prevailed. He just said, sorry, that's the way it is. You know, that's life. Things you have to learn. You take the good with the bad, okay? Even though sometimes it doesn't seem fair. Well, he drove the car to school. It was very embarrassing for him, you know, and I mean, he had this flashy car in high school, a teenager, come on, you know. So his dad and mom decided that, you know, before, you know, right after the insurance man totaled the car. He got to drive it a little while, but the guy in insurance, when he came out and did the evaluation, he said it's going to cost more to fix the car than it will be to just pay you for it and what it's worth. So he did. They just totaled it out, like I said, like I showed. And his dad and mom decided that, you know, his insurance rates are going to go up now, even though John still felt it was not his fault. Insurance rates are going to go up. And they decided that what they were going to do was buy him a Dodge Dart. Dodge Dart. I couldn't believe my son said that. And his wife, my daughter-in-law. What do you mean a Dodge Dart? You're not buying him a Dodge Dart. And I said, this kid has been driving a Dodge Challenger. He's cool. He does everything right. He's a cool kid. You know how it is. Later on, he'll buy a Dodge Dart, or you can buy him a Dodge Dart, but you don't buy him a Dodge Dart now. That's a grandma car. And he said, no, it's cost effective all the way around. The insurance, the cost of the car will be cheaper. Well, of course, little John, you know, he just hung his head, a Dodge Dart. You know, I'm like this really cool guy, an MMA fighter and all this stuff. I got a really hot girlfriend. I'm going to drive around in a Dodge Dart. Are you kidding me? But his mom said, well, look, you know, we found one that's almost the same color as your old Challenger, and it has black wheels and all that stuff, you know. Well, why don't we just get you that one? It'll be okay. Later on, maybe we can work out something else. Well, you know, John, you know, you got to understand, these tenants I told you about that had been drummed into him, you know, he finally said, okay, you know, just the indomitable spirit was one of them, okay. He said, okay, Dad, you know, whatever, because he didn't, now his dad said, look, you're going to have to pay the $1,000 deductible on your accident, too. I'm not paying that. You're going to pay that. You're going to work. You're going to come up with the money. So, you know, what choice did John have? He wasn't happy about it, but he didn't whine and cry. He didn't carry on. Didn't make a big deal about it. And they went ahead and they bought it. He called me up. He said, we got the Dodge Dart. We're going to give it to him for Christmas. Christmas Day came, and here they are presenting the key to John as one of his gifts, and you can see his face, you know, he's accepting it, you know, I'm accepting it. I guess the Dodge Dart in his mind was better than no car at all. So, and I still wasn't happy. I told him, I said, look, you know, this is really uncool. You know, if you guys were living below the poverty line, I could understand it, but they make enough money, they could have bought him a better car. Yeah, this was an unfortunate event, unforeseen. It's not like he was drinking on drugs or speeding anywhere. He was dead still. And, you know, but my son and his wife, they just wouldn't hear it. So, this is the handing him the key Christmas morning.
To something small.
Okay. He's not going to be able to use that on the trip. But okay.
Yeah, but I still think he'll like it.
You open it?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and open it. Me and your mom are excited about it, I guess. You're going to like it, I think.
automotive gold ink.
Sorry, you know, I'm a rapper. Thought about duct tape and other stuff, and I thought, no, I'll just do this.
What do you think?
Is this a car key?
Yeah. What's the keychain say?
Dodge Dart.
Is that exciting?
Hey, there's something else in there.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that. Cool,
Is
huh?
this a picture of you guys next to it?
Yeah.
Such a pretty blue
Yeah.
car.
Let me see. Show everybody.
Doesn't
Everyone,
look
Johnny
like
got
a
his
real
car wrecked,
picture.
but he got his car here, so.
That doesn't
Dodge Dart.
It doesn't look like a real picture.
Yeah, it was the best I could do because I printed it at work, so.
Yeah, kind of worn a
Pretty
little.
cool. So, are you excited about it anyways?
Yeah.
What'd you think of the color?
I like
It has the blackout wheels.
color, yeah.
Okay. This is for. Papa's going to put a video of it together for us. Bye, guys.
Dart, yeah!
Well, after the key was given to him, and you can see, again, you can see in his face, yeah, okay, Mom and Dad, but I am really upset about this whole thing, down in the dumps, And they decided, well, look, here's what we're going to do now. We're going to take you outside, and we'll just kind of fake a surprise, and then we'll send it to our various family members, kind of show them your new car and all that. John said, okay, he says, so I guess my son said, now look, when you turn around, you look at the car, kind of act surprised and all that. So John said, okay, that will do it. And so this is how that part went down.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Merry Christmas, son.
That does not look like a dart. That is not a dart. What is
it?
That's not a
No,
dart.
No, stay on that side.
What is it?
That's not a dart. That is not a dart. Looks like oh my God! It's got. Oh my God! Oh my God! No, freak! You're serious? This is mine? No freaking way! Oh my God! Thank you so much.
Being a good boy.
Yeah.
Getting over 4.0s and teaching martial arts and world champion and just accepting whatever you would have gotten with grace.
No, it's got the shaker. Oh my God, that's so cool.
It's like unwrapping a big present, ain't it? Go ahead and throw the cover on the ground. It's okay. This slides off too easy anyway. So.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That is so cool.
Well, I'll tell you what. That totally not only blew John away, it blew me away too. My son and his wife had me completely fooled. I thought they were going to give that boy that piece of crap Dodge Dart. Oh, that was a big load off my mind. Oh, it's so cool. And it's got a shaker thing on the hood. I never heard of a shaker. I know a lot about cars, but I never heard of a shaker. And he was so, it's a hood scoop that sticks through the hood that's not attached. So when the engine, torques out, the shaker shakes. The hood scoop shakes. They call it a shaker. I don't know. I never heard of it. I'm sure a lot of you have. Anyway, I don't know what the purpose of it is, except it sits there and shakes. But on the seat, on the back of the seat of the driver's side, it has the word shaker stitched in to the upholstery. It's pretty really slick car. He is so happy. That boy is so happy. Well, that ends the latest family story I told you I would tell you in the last video. I hope you all enjoyed it. It was kind of a big surprise all around. And I have forgiven my son and his wife, my daughter-in-law, Jamie, for getting, they were going to get him that Dodge Dart. I tell you what, I was not going to let them get by with that. Every chance I had, I was going to mention how they have, John would probably grow up now with emotional trauma over this, wind up living in a cardboard box in an alley, begging money for wine, That's not going to happen. In fact, he's going to go to college, and here is his graduation picture. Well, that's it. I hope I didn't bore you too much. I guess this would fall into the category of old 64 gold flap. So I just did a flap. I guess this is my real first official flap. I hope you enjoyed it. So until next time, we'll get back to the Thunderbird next time. There have been some events, updated events that I need to bring you up to snuff on. So until then, again, everybody have a great Happy New Year. And from Wifey and I, see you next time.